Maribyrnong community have been talking about this site and development of this site for the last 20 years. I mean, it's seen as a mirage. It's the Maribyrnong Defence Site mirage, because it's always just on the horizon, doesn't take place. And I can't see that we are really much further down the track than what we were, 3 years ago.
Well, Senator, you'd be wrong about that. You'd be wrong about that because of the points that both the Deputy Secretary and I have made in relation to the processes that have been undertaken between Prime Minister and Cabinet, the Department of the Treasury, the Department of Defence, the work that will be done with the Council in Maribyrnong, with the Victorian State Government. All of that, I am sure you would insist needs to be in place, and we will be pursuing that.
The state government wasn't informed that you were going down this way until the day of the budget, which looks like a budget announcement rather than some concrete development proposal.
Seriously, Senator,
I've got 3 minutes left.
Colleagues, not talk across each other.
I just wanted to ask one more question about, or a series of questions about the current management of the site, and in terms of the management at site of weed management and access to the site by the local community.
So the site is it's still a restricted area. It's fenced. It has access control people and security patrols on it. We do undertake management of the lands, and particularly slashing of grass, for example, in and around fire seasons. We have facilitated access to the site for a number of groups, in particular the Friends of Sandy group, because they're very interested in the erection of a memorial to Sandy, and yes, we certainly want that to happen as part of the schema.
Could I table a photo? I was actually travelled along the Maribyrnong River on the Blackbird with Peter Somerville just over the weekend, and he pointed out to me, and I'll table a photo that I took then of the level of infestation of thistles, and I didn't get a photo, but similarly the level of prickly pear that was on the site. They were very concerned about the weed management of the site and wanted me to ask about what Defence was going to do in terms of managing that weed infestation.
Yeah, I'll take that on notice and have a look at the photograph. And
okay. And the other point was that they were also asking for access to the riverside in order to begin revegetation works, and could not understand why that was not being permitted. This was an area of the site along the riverbank which has not been contaminated, and no one has never had development on it. They would very much like access to it to be able to begin revegetation, which you would think would be in the interests of increasing the value of the site.
And that may well be. It may also be a difficulty if it's inside the perimeter fence that exists at the moment, simply from a health and safety perspective.
No, I think it's actually between the river and the perimeter fence, and that they were not being given access to that site. So
I'll be happy to look into that and see what's possible, but I can make no promise that could be done.
And finally, in terms of the management of the site, the community's great desire is to have at least a 50-metre stretch along the river to be revegetated, and I wanted to know whether on the current planning for the site that at least that 50 metres along the river edge was an absolutely non-negotiable part of the development of the site.
And that will depend on the local authorities' view of the planning for the site.
Very good.
Thank you.
And that's a great spot.